it's steered and like kind of informed almost like every life decision I made. Most of them very poor, but no. So it's like such a huge part of my identity, but it's not how I identify myself anymore. Punk, like that. It's like been a driving force. It's like definitely, this is like one of the most important relationships I have in my life. It's why that relationship started, but it's not why it continues.
On this episode of In Session at JackRabbit SoundShack, we talked to the Fleshlights about building notoriety as a punk rock band, whether they actually consider themselves punk rock, and we asked them to talk to us about their song, I Wait. I'm David Biggs. And I'm Vance Van Doncelar.
We are the Fleshlights, and we are in session at JackRabbit SoundShack.
The song is Beaker Street by the Fleshlights. Fleshlights are a band who have been around for about 10 years in one form or another, and we were stoked to finally be able to bring in a punk rock band to In Session. We never really listened to punk growing up, and even writing this, I'm having trouble finding a way to relate since punk carries such a unique and individual style. But I've always loved the sort of anti-establishment, not including our music with the rest of the radio trash feeling that I got from hearing punk rock, so we wanted to see if we can get a little more of an understanding of their world, at least according to these guys. So we asked, who are the Fleshlights?
Old.
Yeah. We've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
So I think, I think a lot of the things that maybe we thought were going to happen or wanted to happen haven't happened the way that we thought. And I think we're getting to a place where we're like more comfortable with that. So we're feeling, I'm feeling like we're in a place where we can be creative on our own terms and not be worrying so much about like what kind of image we're going to put out or who we are. We're not so much worried about who we are as a band anymore.
I think that we just probably had plans of touring all the time, making a bunch of records, and I feel like we move kind of slow as a band, and yeah, we just I mean, I had a kid, and it slowed things down, and
When did you have your child?
4 years ago. It was like right when I think our second record was just about to come out.
Yeah. Our second full length was like, yeah, I think came out either right after you told us or.
I think while we were
close.
recording it, I found out that my now wife was pregnant, and then there were complications with the pregnancy right when the record was about to come out. And then everything's fine now.
Yeah.
But I think the way that my wife and daughter were like, it was a complicated. My wife had preeclampsia, so it pretty much is like the baby like rejects the mom, and they're pretty much both very sick until the baby comes out. So it's like an emergency C-section. It's really hectic. And then we did a tour after that too, and I think there was some like I had some like distance issues, you know. Just like being away from them seemed really shitty, considering how close they were to like dying. But they're both great now. So.
Well, did you have that tour that you all went on planned before or during the pregnancy?
I think we planned it knowing we knew that I was going to be dad when we booked it, but we didn't know. But
How chaotic
yeah,
it was going to be.
yeah, she my daughter was 3 months premature, so it was like a big shock. It's just when you're a parent, if you're just not around your kid, it's rough. Like, I mean, she just started preschool, and I feel during the day, because she used to come downtown with me 3 times a week and go to Barracuda and receive orders with me and stuff. And then now that she's in preschool, I feel the same thing that I felt when we were on tour, which is, just kind of separation anxiety, and just kind of, I think it's I mean, I'm sure all parents feel this, but I feel like it's hereditary for me to be very paranoid and like think about what if this bad thing happened and I wasn't there. And I think that was what was going through my mind a lot on tour. Like, what if something shitty happened and I was really far away?
Right.
I doubt it's unique to me, but that was definitely, that was a rough part. And then like part of it was like sleeping on 19-year-olds' floors. I mean, like, I have a kid at home right now, and we're like, there's people like smoking weed, talking about like
Things start to seem trivial.
Yeah.
Right. Touring sucks hard enough when you're not missing your child. Like, to have that added on, I'm sure was,
and they were
stress.
nothing but supportive about everything. So I'm lucky because I can still be in a band and it not be a constant struggle about we should be doing this and you're holding us back or whatever. They've been amazing.
This song is Untitled by the Fleshlights. Having been around for such a good amount of time, the Fleshlights have been able to tour, play festivals, accrue countless write-ups, and build a great following. This is more amazing considering that they fall into a music category that is not necessarily at the forefront of new and popular. In fact, my understanding is that punk is kind of meant to be deliberately anti-mainstream. So how are these three able to do it? How did you build notoriety?
Max writes really killer songs, so that helps. That's how he started. I think that's why people noticed. And he's really good at guitar. Melissa's also really good at drums. That helped. And then I joined.
I do feel like when we first started, we were writing more garage-based songs, and garage was just really hyped at the time. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like it was good timing.
Yeah, we definitely, I think there was like a group of bands that I think we fit with at that, like when we started. So I feel like it's fair to say we skipped a few steps maybe just because like there was kind of a built-in thing at that moment in town.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Built-in thing in what way? Like, what do you mean by that?
That there was just like a core of bands and people that were interested in those bands that we fit with. So we got like kind of initially, there was like things that were happening at Beerland and Emos when Emos was still downtown, that it was like, because you know Austin's like the music scenes here are like they come and go, they fluctuate and change, and at that moment we fit well with what was, for lack of a better word, popular. So that worked in our favor, and it was easy to get booked, which is like something that I think about for other bands that don't have that sort of built-in infrastructure of just also like I'm from here. My brother goes way back with like the music scene too, not as a musician but just more of as like a presence. So just that having that kind of like I think definitely helped us move forward more quickly than maybe we would have otherwise.
Yeah, and you saying that it's true, it's like I mean, of course they're here and there, but I guess just knowing the right people and getting on those shows, like I don't really remember many shows where people weren't there.
Yeah. Yeah,
we weren't sending out
lucky.
demos and shit. Like we didn't. That's the step I'm talking about that we got to skip. So like we didn't need to, or we were lucky enough to not have to like record a demo and send it to bookers at clubs because we just were friends with people that were putting on shows. So
have you guys played any festivals in town ever?
Yes.
Those are the ones that we don't play to many people.
Yeah, we played Fun Fest at like 10:30 in the morning to
12
people.
So what are the shows
and
that
then
you guys...
that's like
We played the X Games too.
Yeah, the X Games.
No way.
And
You want a picture of
we played
one of our
to
best
his
shows.
wife and 2 kids.
Yeah.
It was
in a room that it's like 10,000.
No, it was the 360 amphitheater
Yeah.
to 3 people.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's
That seems really strange.
Who's the headliner on that one?
Metallica.
And Nicki Minaj. we did get to eat because it was like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we played on Sunday. So I think Metallica and Nicki Minaj played Friday, Saturday, and we got to have all the scraps of their like catering.
But we weren't allowed to go to their performances. Like we didn't even
Even if we paid, they were like, "You are not allowed near these."
like, go wait in the car. No, but like we could, we had, if we wanted to go, we could watch the event, but we
could
couldn't
watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, we couldn't like. They were like their Metallica was playing a different stage, and they were like, "You guys, no."
Mm-hmm.
I think KUTX put together the small stage, which was the 10,000 cap. Like
small stage where
venue.
Iron Maiden played. And
Yeah,
shit.
exactly.
Small stage.
Yeah.
You're right.
And then they must have built a separate stage just for Metallica and Nicki Minaj.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if you guys played at Circuit of the Americas to 3 people
At like 10:30 in the morning.
at 10:30 in the morning, what are some of the shows that you played to full houses or packed shows? Like when
The
did people
Hives.
come up-
Yeah, when we were playing with the Hives, we
That was like,
That
yeah.
tends to make sense, I think.
And that, I feel like we got spoiled on that,
We got, yeah.
you know, and then like, well, it was just like a packed house every night, you know, backstage, free
The
food.
first show we played at the 930 Club, we played to like 1,000 people or something.
Yeah.
Was that a traveling tour? Like y'all traveled with them?
Yeah, we did like 9 dates.
That's in DC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of my favorite shows we ever played was with the OCs and Ty
Oh, yeah.
Segall at La Zona Rosa.
Yeah, that was insane.
Mm-hmm.
That was I think it was sold out. Pretty sure it was sold out, which La Zona Rosa is probably like 1,000 cap too. But our friends band Gal Pals opened, then we played, and
I think you need to talk about that Suicidal Tendencies cover.
yeah, we covered Institutionalized by Suicidal Tendencies, and Alyssa
Pepsi
sang.
song?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Alyssa sang.
I had
and
103 fever too.
Oh, that's right.
I was like, I had never been that sick in my life.
Jesus. Well,
no
Yeah.
one,
that's awesome.
no one knew that you were like on the brink of death because it
Yeah.
was like,
I guess the adrenaline like kicked in, and then afterwards I was just like, I gotta get out of here.
Passed out.
Yeah, adrenaline's crazy. It can
Mm-hmm.
like if you're sick and about to play a show, it can get you through the show, and the adrenaline high can kind of get you through the rest of the night. And you're like, oh, I'm not sick anymore, and then the next day you just feel 10 times
Mhm.
worse.
Got it.
But yeah, like the Hives thing was amazing, and then, you know, the tour after that. I mean, I don't want to say we were on a high horse, but we felt good, you know. We were like, wow, like nothing can get better than that. Let's see what's gonna happen on this next tour. Maybe it
We
will.
played with Pikachu like
I wasn't on that tour.
every show.
But yeah, we went to
of
the West
Pikachu.
Coast and like the super moon beat us out.
Yeah, we definitely have played a show where we lost out to the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we played a show to like 4 people.
In
And
New Mexico, and they're like, "Oh,
the
it's a super moon.
yeah.
Everyone's in the mountains right now." They're like, "Usually this place would be packed," and we're like, "Cool."
Thank you for listening to In Session at JackRabbit SoundShack. We wanted to remind you that if you like what you hear, please subscribe to our show.
And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to tap the notification bell so you never miss an artist. Okay, now on with the show.
This song is Going Down by the Fleshlights.
I peaked out at 21, now it's all downhill. I wrote my best songs when I was young. Now I'm old with no
Being around writing music for over 10 years is an accomplishment, but it has to bring with it a certain amount of staleness. Human beings in general have to evolve their daily lives and what they do to keep from becoming stagnant, and some of this happens naturally just through experience. This is why we see musicians and their music change throughout the years. We noticed this movement with some of the music that the Fleshlights brought to In Session, and we wanted to ask, do you still consider yourselves punk rock?
No.
No.
Okay,
Not anymore, no.
It should be.
anymore. Okay. So, not anymore tells me that at one point you did. What changed? And I mean, for me, I still hear punk rock in there, but not punk rock as punk rock is really meant to be. It's got punk rock feel to it, but
I feel like in the way that the replacement's like first album. I mean, like that's a punk record, but you know they don't wear like. I don't know.
Yeah, they
Like,
like
with, like,
the Rolling
Liberty
Stones
Spikes.
and Chuck
Yeah,
Berry,
they
and they were just playing those songs really fast.
Yeah, and then I guess we just want to be the replacements.
Yeah.
okay.
You know, like our first record's like
Yeah.
hard, and then from there we like
Got wussier.
yeah, we just got lame,
I think
softer and softer.
it's funny to me because I think like every important relationship in my life that's not like my mom and dad is as a result of being into punk music. Like almost in every like interest I have like stemmed from that. Like even when because I went back to school recently, I was like my interest in journalism to do that, which I'm not going to do that. It's not a plug. I'm not doing that with my life now. But anyway, it just like it steered and like kind of informed almost like every life decision I made. Most of them very poor, but no. So it's like such a huge part of my identity, but it's not how I identify myself
Punk or
anymore.
journalism?
Punk, like that. It's like been a driving force. It's like definitely, you know, this is like one of the most important relationships I have in my life. It's why that relationship started, but it's not why it continues. It doesn't really like. It doesn't inform my life anymore, but it's like definitely something part of where I came from. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel the same.
Okay.
Like I started playing drums, you know,
Right.
because of certain like punk records. But yeah, I'm not like passing out flyers like come to the punk show.
Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely the first
When we were young, you know,
genre
like,
we really got into, and it still means a lot to me, but so does soul music
Yeah.
and classic rock and stuff like that. You just after playing only really fast kind of punk songs for a long time, you just want to do other stuff. And I still like writing fast punk songs, but I wouldn't want it to be like the only thing that I write. And I feel like me and Jeremy's songwriting just kind of stays on this. We always write songs that are similar to each other's songs, and I couldn't explain how that happens, but I think
Just ripping you off.
and I'm ripping him off.
I don't want to like be like this is punk or whatever, but like I think part of it is like as I've always understood it is like you're like punk is about exploration or it's about change. It's not about static. So it's not about a sound or a look necessarily. It's about an approach, which for better or for worse I feel like we do still have. But the music you can only write what you feel. You can't try and if you're trying to be punk, it's like trying to be cool. You're just not going to be. You're going to be lame.
Right.
So, not that we're like fucking kicking doors down now or anything, but you know, we're still who we are and our music is going to be representative of that no matter what.
This is Paw by the Fleshlights.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It should be evident by now that we love to talk to musicians about their music. Usually you can tell pretty quickly which song is going to fall into a band's favorites just by the way it's written and how they perform it. It was a little different with the Fleshlights. Every song they play like it's important. The songs are written by different members of the band and played like everybody wrote it. So we had to ask them if they had any favorite songs and why. This was their response.
I think some of the newer, more dynamic songs are always fun to play, but then we'll play a song a bunch of times and be like, maybe we should leave it out of the set for a while. And then sometimes we'll just like forget about it for a year and then bring it back. I think I Wait, which we recorded today, was a song.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
We've never stopped playing that song.
Got it. And why?
It just feels very... I feel like it's always kind of changing, and it is definitely... I feel like it's Jeremy's song, but I don't know, I feel like we all kind of have a big part in that song, and it's just fun. It's fun to play.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
It's dynamic. It's kind of slow. It's like soft at some parts and then gets loud.
That song is like a total work of fiction. It's like not personal at all. Lyrically, it was like, there's a Squeeze song, Up the Junction, that I listened to like 1,000 times, and then I think Max was actually taking a more active role with his first kid, Nico, and I was like kind of watching that happen. I was like, what would it be like if, you just sucked at being a dad, like so many do? And I just kind of wrote a song about that, about just, not being around to watch your kid grow up.
Okay.
And bombing a relationship. It was like also one of the first times I'd really sat down and tried really hard to write a song. Okay. Instead of like doing it in a more, quote unquote punk fashion. I like tried, and this is something I thought about from watching Max, is like actually putting some craft into the songwriting. Not to say that I was particularly successful with it, but I actually did that kind of homework, And I was listening to a lot of Tom Petty, which helps, I guess. I don't know. I think, maybe it was we were kind of branching out as a band. I'm trying to think of other songs that Max was bringing at the time, and I'm not thinking of specific ones, but it was like, there were even just like some of our very first songs, I could tell that Max had done so much melodic, there's so much like melodic, maybe not thought, but like just precision to them. And I was like kind of just figuring out how to do that myself. And I don't know, I'm like not, I don't really think of myself as a musician. I'm like not, doesn't come that naturally to me. It's like, and I'm like, if you're like, I want to start a funk band, you're not going to call me. I'm not going to be the guy that's going to figure out the fucking right scale to play to make your song really, whatever, that's just not who I am. So that was the first time that I actually felt like I was figuring out, unlocking some things that were like kind of unclear to me before.
Right. But there's a reason that you went into doing that. There's a reason you play, even though you don't consider yourself a musician. Yeah,
I was just I started playing in bands when I was like 12 years old. So I just which they did too, but I'm older, so I did it first. So.
This is I Wait by the Fleshlights.
she looks like me, and I wait, I wait, I wait, I wait, but I never meant to bring you down. These things go round and round, reach up to you from the ground. I never meant to bring you down.
JackRabbit SoundShack wants to say thank you to the Fleshlights for bringing the noise and opening up to us so we can get you a little closer to their music.
You can find their songs and EPs scattered around different parts of the internet, including their 2011 full-length record, Muscle Pop, on their Bandcamp website, fleshlights.bandcamp.com, and you can find their next gig on their Facebook page.
Thank you for listening, and join us for our next featured band, Tennessee Stiffs, on February 18th.